Hello everybody, welcome back to the next episode of Kerbal Space Program 0.25. So last episode we had a bit of a daring acrobatic landing on the surface of Dres. If you missed it, I highly recommend you check it out. It was kind of special and I kind of misjudged some things and we kind of came down on a hill and I ended up doing some flips, but it all ended up working out okay. And so we got the boys down to the surface, so now let's just pick up right where we left off and we'll just continue to fly this mission here. So I'm a little bit excited just to explore the surface of Dres. I think the last time I was here, like I said, I only put a probe down here, so I never actually put a manned craft down here on the surface of Dres, but here we are. And like I said, it kind of looks like the moon, except very far away from the sun. If we zoom out a bit, it does really nothing very characteristic. There isn't even any ground scattering, and I'm fairly certain that I have ground scattering on. But one thing we do have that's kind of interesting is this little rift right here on the side. We are a bit far away from it, otherwise I would walk the guys over there, except it would probably take many hours of walking. So maybe if we build a rover sometime, we can really do some extensive exploring of some of these planets, and that's actually what I do plan to do maybe in the future, to do extensive exploring. Maybe even make a whole series on just the anomalies. There's quite a bit of anomalies on all these different worlds you can visit, and so I might do an episode just based on that, just going to the I almost said monopolies, the anomalies. But anyway, enough rambling on. We've made it to the surface, and we'll just put the lights on for good measure. And let's just start doing some science here. So I'll go ahead and try the crew report. And it looks like I think I've already done that one. I always seem to do that. We have done also both the GOO and the Science Junior too. So again, we've done those. Let's try the accelerometer. Did I do these two? Oh my goodness, I did. I totally did. Like I said, it's been a while since I played this particular game here, so I sometimes forget what we did and didn't do. I think I did the same exact thing for our Moho mission, but anyway, let's get the guys on the surface. I think Bob, he's been with the program long enough. I think he deserves to be the first Kerbal to set foot on this tiny little dwarf planet of Dres. Let's see if he can get down a little more majestically than... Alright. Well done, Bob. So here he is marching across the surface. We'll do the jump test. Ooh, so as you can see, definitely lighter than Moho, that's for sure. It kind of has this very similar jumping capacity as the moon, actually, now that I'm kind of thinking about it. Are we sure we're on this planet, not the moon? Okay, just had to check real quick because it seems very much like Kerbin's moon. But anyway, here we are on the surface, and let's go ahead and just take a surface sample. You find traces of large number of elements, likely deposited here by impacts over time. So we get 240 from that. Woo! That is excellent. We'll do the EVA too. When we look closely at the ground, you can see that there are many different types of deposits mixed together, which is kind of similar to what we just found out, so that's good. Now let's go ahead and get the flag down on the surface. Bob Kerman, planting the flag. Awesome. We'll call this Bob at Dres. Excellent. Alright. Flag is down, and I think we did get all the contract parameters, I'm sure, because it looks like we don't have the contract anymore. We must have finished it. Excellent. So let's go back to the craft. Let's get Matlorf down here too, just because he went along. He deserves to have some fun romping around on the surface as well. And there he is. The two boys down on the surface. Just kind of goofing off. Let's see if I can get this guy right on top. There we go. Bob doesn't seem to mind at all. Do you, Bob? Nope. Alright, so let's go ahead and get these guys in a nice area for a picture. Right in front of their flag. Let's get Bob posing along with him. Actually, they should be turned towards this way, shouldn't they? It'll take a lot of time to figure out which direction I want to take these photos from. I think that's always a nice shot right there. So we'll go ahead and use that. That might be our screenshot, our thumbnail of the day here. A desolate place, and as I said before, well, to be blunt, a quite boring place. Nothing really goes on for miles. Some of the darker areas I think are lower areas, and again, there's really nothing there either. Just a very, very dull world indeed. There's no moons to kind of look at. Nothing really interesting happens in the sky. There's no atmosphere, so there's no clouds. I do wonder if maybe some sort of, maybe like some dust or something comes across, but it doesn't look like anything like that either. So we'll just kind of time warp along towards the end of the day. Does get a little creepy here though. That's kind of a cool shot right there. The sun setting with the long shadows. Let's just make sure it gets to nighttime. Just so we could say we spent the night. Ooh, went a little too far there. That's alright, it's still relatively nighttime. Which doesn't look any different whatsoever. Except there's just weird, creepy Dres space aliens. No, probably not, but it always does freak me out a little more to be on the night side of a desolate world like this. Because you can't really see much further. You just never know what's out there on this strange foreign planet. You just never know. Hell, the Kraken could be hanging out here for all we know, right? Who knows? Let's just see. Let's take a look now at our orbiter. So this is what we're going to want to eventually re-rendezvous with. And so we're going to want to basically get it to where it is right now. Although, as you could see, we didn't quite get it perfectly set to the equator. So we're going to have to basically warp around till it gets back into position again. But I think we've spent enough time here on the surface. It's time to get these boys home again. So let's get them back in their craft. Flip over here. And we'll get this last person back inside. Both parachutes are still here, so we don't need to repack them. They're all set. And we'll just retract the ladder. I will, however, turn the lights off just because I feel like it's using a bit of energy. We want to conserve that electric charge. Alright, so again, let's kind of warp around to where the boys are a little more towards the orbit of basically the ship, the probe, and it'll be probably around here. It's the beauty of time warping, we can just kind of wait. So I think on the next pass, this will be where we will attempt to rendezvous. Yes, I think that'll be most acceptable. We'll wait till it gets to right about here. It's not going to take that much thrust to get off the planet. So we don't have to wait too long. In fact, right about there is probably good. And there it is right there overhead. We can see it coming. So let me just get my bearings straight. We're going to want to turn up this way towards the 90. And let's get this thing going. Just kind of immediately start turning the ship. And we don't really need to mess around too much. And wow, look at this. Barely required any thrust whatsoever. In fact, yeah, we're going to be way ahead of this thing. Just going to kind of point it down just to elongate that a little bit. So we could have left a lot later. as you could see, we're not even getting any sort of intercept, just because we're going to be so far ahead of it. But that's okay. Actually, is it this target? Ah, there. I thought something was weird. I was like, we should at least get something, but here it is. So we're going to be ahead of it, about 30 kilometers ahead of it. But that's okay. We can just do our standard rendezvous. In days past, I used to just pop a maneuver here and get to the orbit first. And just kind of like you let gravity carry us the rest of the way. Like I used to do something like this. Only spend 125 and we'd meet up at 0.8. But I kind of like doing it the other way, where we treat it just like it's a standard rendezvous. And we kind of kill off our orbital velocity with it once we get to about the proper point. And then we just treat it like a standard rendezvous. So I think we could do something like that. So we'll just get it a little up higher and just a little further up. There's our landing spot. Let's put orbital display back. So once we get to about this zone here, that's when we'll start to basically we'll point at the anti-target reticle here. The anti-movement anti-movement node, rather, that's what I want to say. And we'll just try to kill off our velocity. Actually, let me think about this for a sec. Since we're ahead of it, we'll have to do that awkward burning backwards. Actually, I've changed my mind. I think what we will do is do it the old-fashioned way, where we will just line it up like this. We'll just let gravity naturally take us there. So as you can see, it's going to be a real close, real neat and tidy encounter. 0.6. I think we're just going to end up doing that. That's fine. That'll work way better. It's going to be a 5-second burn in about a minute. So we'll just keep going up. The ship's getting a little closer just naturally due to gravity. I'll start it now at about half thrust. That should make it nice and even. The numbers should count down together, basically. And that should do it. I have to go a little bit further. Just want to get these things locked in together. It's a bit confused, but that'll do us for sure. Yeah, right about there. And I think it's just amazing, you know, we make one little burn like that and we know that we are eventually going to meet up. And this is great because we barely used any of this fuel whatsoever. Very small planet, hardly requires any sort of fuel, which is very nice. I like when that happens. Because using up all my fuel is definitely something that I don't like doing. I don't know about you guys, but it's not on my list of things that I enjoy. Alright, so as we can see here, we are a bit off from it, just because we weren't perfectly lined up on the equator, but basically what's going to happen here, if I had to guess, we're going to just go a little past the orbit. Yes, as you can see, our blue line is going to end up extending past the green line, which is going to allow the Explorer probe to catch up. And we can see this happening right here. Basically just honing in on us. We don't even have to make any sort of burns. I mean, we did one burn and that's it. We're just letting gravity do all the work for us. Which is, you know, it's perfect. I'm kind of lazy. It's kind of like the lazy man's way to do it. Just, yeah, like gravity will take care of everything. We don't even have to pilot this damn thing. We could just, we could be like taking a nap right now or reading a book. And it's just automatically meeting up. And it does look like, too, that the two inclinations will converge here as well. So that actually worked out quite well. And we're going slow enough, too, that we don't have to cancel that much velocity. But you can see it really getting close now. Eventually, this is going to start moving up. Or we're going to start moving down just to converge on it. There we go. See, it's starting to move up on us now. So cool. Such a cool view, isn't it? just out here. Let's see. Let's get a good screenshot. What do you think? I think it's pretty neat right there. And there's the Explorer probe coming up on us now. See, the actual encounter is going to be 0.8. It's got a little ways to go. Do our little space ballet, our little space dance. Oh, and there's that rift right there. How cool. Basically going to rendezvous precisely where we landed. Just turned out that way. It's pretty nice. I like when little things happen to, you know, happen like that. Now it says it's supposed to be a little closer, but I think I'm just going to start doing that now. So again, we're just going to point at the, there it is, the anti-movement reticle. Try to push it onto that pink one. We are starting to drift away from it. This is accomplishing a couple things. We are both slowing down. We are also pushing ourselves closer towards the ship. There, so we are, in essence, heading right at it. And we'll just make that happen a little more by lining these three things up like that. Basically now just pushing ourselves straight at it. Very nice. And you can see we've stopped drifting. It's kind of just now frozen in place right there. It's a cool screenshot also. You can see the rift right down there and you can start to see the ship heading towards it at 5.3 meters per second. I love rendezvous, and you know, if that's still difficult for you guys, I urge you to just kind of follow the steps I'm giving you here and practice, 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 and eventually you'll learn to love it too. And it's just, there's something graceful about it. You know, it's, at these distances it seems insane, but there's just something really poetic and graceful about the whole thing. I can't really quite explain it in words. It's just something you have to experience. And just the comfort in knowing that you're right on course. Even if it doesn't look like it, you can just use the nav ball. As long as these things are lined up, you know that you're heading right at your target. All very good feelings. That was interesting. I time warped and it kind of shifted the position away. Sometimes that happens. Strange glitches. Here we come. Getting even closer to it now. Oh, it looks like that thing is rotating a little bit. That's interesting. Why is it rotating? What the heck? Do you see that? What in the world? What? What is going on? That was very strange. You saw that, right? It was like flipping around on its own. That's freaky. The computers must be malfunctioning. The probe just must be freaking out a little bit. Maybe it became self-aware. It's sentient now. It doesn't like what's going on. It's trying to get away from us. But here we are. Let's actually now align ourselves north as well. And I'm actually going to use the probe to do the rendezvous because the probe is the one that has the RCS. Here we are. So we're going to just press ourselves into chase view. Oh, are we heading into the dark side? No, not yet. We're still good. So we have to go, let's see, put the RCS on. We have to go backwards with N just to push ourselves a little more that way. As you can see, we are just a little far ahead of it, so we'll just go that way a bit. So we are heading into the dark side, however, so time is a little bit of the essence. We also need to go up. So I'll press K and lift ourselves up. We can set the Clampatron Senior as the target. So that looks good. I'm going to press H to stop it from drifting forward. That's good. Still heading up. Also very good. We'll just keep boosting upwards. The craft is a little bit out of balance, so what I might do, might just shift some of the fuel. Just a, oh, there's that glitch again. Ugh, I don't know why it's doing that. Remember that glitch? It wouldn't let us... Yeah, isn't that weird? We can't press any of these buttons. Whatever, I'm just gonna leave it alone. We'll fix it. Okay, so we are just about at the proper level here, and I'm also just going to press the J key and move us to the left a bit. And I'm also going to now cancel the upward motion by pressing I. That'll stop us from going up. So now we're just kind of sliding over this way. Right towards our target. Got to go back to it again. There we are. Just gotta press the I to go down a bit, and the L key now to get us to stop drifting to the left. That about does it. Okay. I'm also going to rotate the ship. Sorry if this makes you dizzy. Just so that the two engines are lined up. Yes, it will bother me if they're not lined up. I just have that sort of spaceship OCD, I suppose. Need to go up a tad. And I'm going to start burning forwards with H. Since we are a bit far away from it now. Okay. Now it's just a matter of keeping these three things lined up down here. The yellow, the pink, and the orange. As long as those things are lined up, we are good to go. We are heading straight at the target now at about 0.3 meters per second. Just as we start approaching the dark side, yes, the sun is setting a bit. If you could even say that the sun is setting. Actually, what's happening is we are rotating around the planet so that the planet will occlude the sunlight. But sunset sounds a little easier than occluding the sunlight. Okay, now it's just a matter of getting there. Keeping everything lined up. Looks like we might have to go to the right a bit. Press N a touch just to make sure we're all lined up. We're sliding a little bit. Just going to slide in this way. Also I. And that should do it. Oh, we're a little low. Missed it a little bit. There we are. Not the most graceful rendezvous, but a rendezvous nonetheless, as I always say. So that'll do it for us. Let's actually transfer the fuel back into here again. And it's actually working. That's very good. I like when it works. As well as this one also. We don't need any of that fuel anymore. fact, we'll probably jettison these things, just like we did in the Moho mission. Okay, just take remaining oxidizer and fuel and dump this into here. Very good. All fuel is now in these tanks here. Excellent, excellent. And we have approximately 4,400 meters per second of delta V left, which we'll have a little bit more when we jettison these little side things, which we've gotten a little past the time there. So let's go ahead and end this episode with a boom. Hopefully not a boom, actually. I'm just going to pull these solar panels in while we do this. And we're just going to spin this craft up. Give it a little spin. They're freaking out. They don't like it. And yes, we are going to jettison these two things. So let's say goodbye to them. There they go. And let's stop the rotation so these guys don't get sick and throw up everywhere. That would be a mess to clean up, wouldn't it? Alright, we can put the panels back out now. Very good. Oh, and actually now it says we have 7,700 meters per second. That feels a little better. I was a little worried there for a second, but I think it was counting the two engines that were active as part of the delta V equation, when we only just want these two engines as the delta V equation. I'm going to put this parachutes up here, and as I said before, we will end the episode here. Did a little exploration, and so the next episode you can look forward to us getting these guys home again. So thanks for watching, guys. See you then.